My mom got diagnosed with breast cancer, and when I got diagnosed, it turned out to be breast cancer that had already metastasized to lymph nodes.
Early breast cancer is cancer in the breast that may have spread to some of the surrounding lymph nodes, but it has not spread anywhere else in the body.
When I got diagnosed, my brother and we got extremely close.
She's my hero. All the people may think that it's impossible. She did it and she went through it, and she's here.
Well, my brother and we were like dogs and cats growing up. We were very different.
We just play around a lot, try to see her mood.
We loved each other a lot, but also, I don't know, I guess because he was a boy and he wanted to do boy things, and I just wanted to be the little sister that follows him around everywhere.
The young girl that I used to play around a lot, it just grew from one day to another and become my hero.
My mom got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was in my early 20s. When I got diagnosed, I was like, there's no way that I had cancer also, because God cannot be this cruel. Like, I cannot go through this twice.
Like, my mom went through the same thing, my sister went through the same thing. It's like living the same story over again. I think it was harder because my little sister, you know, the only thing I have.
My name is Roxana, and I have early diagnosed breast cancer.
Early breast cancer is cancer that has happened in the breast and may have spread to some of the surrounding lymph nodes, but it has not spread anywhere else in the body. So it has not spread to the bones, the liver, or the lungs.
So most of the time, the early stage doesn't have any symptoms. And especially in people that are older and they're getting mammograms, the early stage is diagnosed by imaging. In those younger than 40 that don't get screened, most of the time they come with palpable findings or with symptoms that they report themselves. But most of the time, early stage breast cancer, depending on the breast size, depending on the location of the tumor, they're not necessarily symptomatic.
I have very dense breasts, and I was getting ultrasounds every 6 months. I want to say roughly around November, I felt a little lump. And I immediately brushed it off because there's so much going on that I'm busy. Life is busy. And then it got to a point where I would lay sideways and I could see it popping out of my skin. And I was like, oh, this is not good. It's when I guess I knew-ish.
And so we know patients that have extremely dense breasts are at higher risk for breast cancer. Part of this is because dense breast tissue is harder to find tiny cancers on mammography. But despite this, we also know that women with the extremely dense breast have a 1.8 time risk of breast cancer compared to those with normal breast tissue. And so when patients have these additional risk factors, sometimes they can qualify for MRI screening in addition to mammography.
As I'm coming out of anesthesia, my first question was it positive? The surgeon was there, he said everything went fine, that it was, and just told me, refer me to to find an oncologist. And thus, that begins my cancer journey on Valentine's Day. I was getting get well soon flowers for Valentine's Day, which was okay. Turned out to be breast cancer, hormone positive, that had already metastasized to lymph nodes, which was insane because I felt it in November and this was in February. So when I got diagnosed, I was already in pharmacy school. They teach us a lot about health literacy and understanding the importance of advocating for yourself and your patients. And that was also something that I was obviously not aware of when my mom was going through her cancer journey.
I think it's essential, it's crucial that women know the real risk of developing breast cancer. And they know their family history on both sides, and they know if they have a genetic predisposition or not. Because that determines when you start your mammogram. And starting your mammogram at the right age for yourself is, can save your life. And if you do the mammograms and the ultrasounds, and if you have a high risk, you're gonna do now MRIs as well. So every 6 months, there's gonna be an image to look for something. You're gonna find it at the earliest stage if that's to happen.
When I started chemotherapy, they put you on a shot that turns off your ovaries because my cancer is hormone positive, so I was put on menopause basically at 31. With it came the night sweats where you can't sleep. It was difficult because there's a lot of hormonal changes, and on top of that, I'm going through chemo.
We also know that women that are premenopausal who receive chemotherapy do have changes to their ovarian function, and they might have infertility.
There's so many negative things that come with having cancer, like you're now in menopause and at risk of osteoporosis. Also, if you're in the dating scene and you're trying to meet someone and to have a family with, that's an uncomfortable conversation to have.
But what I tell patients is cancer is like a dandelion. It's a weed growing in our yard that we do not want. The surgeon plucks that weed and throws it away, and when we look at the garden, it is weed-free. But sometimes there are still weed seeds left behind, and we want to treat the entire garden so no more weeds pop up. We can also do this with radiation that targets the breast and the local lymph nodes, and systemic therapy.
During radiation, I was already a licensed pharmacist. I got my first hospital job. I was working, and it was a lot. I was training from 7 to 3:30 in the afternoon, and then I would head to radiation, and then I would drive 2 hours in traffic home because Miami, and it was exhausting.
I don't think that anybody can just do all the stuff that she did going through the procedure. Because I was with her all the time that we went to chemo, and she was always positive about it. It don't matter how bad it was or she feeling, she was positive and fighting most of the time.
So how do I help them to cope, and how do I help them to improve their outcomes? By not only looking at the chemos and the surgery and the radiation that we can give, but using all these integrative medicine approaches, holistic approaches, that is really looking at their emotional well-being as much as their physical well-being, supporting them every step of the way. And the support groups are really important. I think finding the right mentor is even better.
Oh my God. My Booby Queens made my cancer journey worth it, you can say. I mean, out of everything that I could have gained, I gained such a beautiful community, really. I've never met more genuine women in my life. I think there's such a special bond that you create with someone that, you've been through the same thing together. And it's like, look at my scar, look at yours. What did you do? I did this. What did help for you? I did that. And it's like walking into a new world where you no longer feel alone.
Since 1989, the risk of death of breast cancer has decreased by 44%. This is fantastic, and outcomes are improving. So first off, we have improved our screening techniques. So we are getting better with mammograms. We also know our surgical techniques have been improving drastically, as well as our systemic techniques. We are getting better with targeted medicines, and by de-escalating treatment in patients that don't need as aggressive treatment, we have fewer side effects, which is awesome.
Having cancer does things to the people around you. The people that you think are going to be there are not. And my brother and I, we had very different lives. We had very different friends. And when I got diagnosed, we got extremely close. Thank you. We became like the kind of relationship I guess you would hope you would have with a sibling. Sometimes I wish he was a sister, but I stuck with a brother. That's okay.
She's my hero. She just did anything what other people may think that is impossible. She did it and she went through it, and she's here.
Roxana is doing great. She is just contagious in terms of just full of life and full of energy and full of dreams. She was studying to be a pharmacist at the time, and she graduated her school during chemotherapy and treatments. So I look up to her, and she inspires people like her and others to know that breast cancer comes at a price, but like she says, celebrate every small victory.
One of the best things that have happened to me in the last few months is that I have a new man in my life. And I have never been happier. He was the final missing piece to my little list of goals that I had set for myself. His name is Chip Clover. And he is my precious little golden doodle baby.
Come here, Mama. Come here, Mama. Oh, Mama. Keep it down, Mama. Ay, I miss you, Mama. I miss you. I miss you, Mama. Ay,
So, right now my life is cuddles and losing sandals because he just bites them and runs away. So that's my life, and it's never been better.